And his wife is holding him back. So I sat down, and I think I got the bag of popcorn from my wife. And suddenly he jumps up, and he turns around, and he stands in his seat, which was, well, you saw the crime scene. He was off to the right.
Right.
So as he's pushing on the back, there's a crack between us. So I'm leaning back in my chair. I got nowhere to go. And I'm leaning back in my chair. So he kept on hollering, and I'm not sure what he said, to be honest with you. He said something, and that led me to believe he was going to kick my ass. And I don't know if that's exactly how he phrased it or not. So I'm looking briefly. I know I can't go anywhere. So I'm leaning all the way back in my chair as far as I can to get away from him, and suddenly he's virtually on top of me. So because I'm stretched out, if you look at these pants, the pistol was in the right front pocket, and when you're sitting down, there's no way you can get it out. So I'm stretched out trying to get away from him. My left arm is out in front of me, and I think I'm saying either no, 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 or whoa, 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 one or the other. And then suddenly my head was to the right, so he hit me with something. And I assume it was his fist, but I don't know. Let me see. Let me get a mirror here. Something was wrong with my left eye. Anyway, I had him wash it out for me. So he hit me with his fist or with something. I think he had his cell phone in his hand because I saw the blur of the screen, I guess.
Right.
And I got my left hand out in front of me, and he hits me in the face and knocks my glasses sideways. And there was a young Sumter County deputy that came over right afterwards. And I have frames that you can bend them all over the place. But the left side was stretched out,
So he knocks your glasses off?
They weren't off. They were partially off, and I fixed them where they fit my head again. And for a while there, I was kind of dazed, and it had to be from the strike, even if it was a glazing blow or whatever. But I felt like I had something in my eye. Still do, but not as bad. The fire department guys wrested out with some kind of. Anyway, I'm leaning back. He's virtually in my lap. I got contact with something with my left hand. It's dark in there. I mean, suddenly this happened so damn fast. And the trajectory of the bullet should be upward because I came out of my pocket with it, and I'm surprised I didn't shoot myself in the hand. But and good heavens, I didn't need to do that. That was just, I had to say that. I've counseled cops for.
How many rounds you shoot?
One. I guess you could say I was scared.
Okay.
I got arthritis in both hands. My back's a freaking wreck. I was on SWAT for 15 years. We thought we were supermen, and as you get older, you find out you're a physical wreck.
Okay. But, and you had that gun in your right?
It was in my right front pocket, and I'm stretched out. Well, like I said, you can see the pockets here, and you can't get it out if you're not completely. I'm stretched out in my seat, sort of like this.
Right.
And I'm holding, I'm whoa, 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 or no, 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 and one or the other. And then I'm hitting the face, and it had to be him. He did it. And
you got any idea where you shot him at?
I have no idea. I heard somebody saying he was shot in the chest.
You see anything in his hands?
I think he had the cell phone. When he turned away from me, I looked down, and his cell phone was laying at my feet. So I think that's what he hit me in the face with. I didn't see anything else. And I don't know what you guys found out.
I hear you. Did your wife, where was your wife found?
She was sitting on the right-hand side. If she's paying attention, and bless her heart, there's no justification for what happened in there, so I understand her.
No justification for what happened in there, but he has pled not guilty to the charges against him. Second-degree murder is the most serious. Sudi Jimenez and Maria Barlow are still with us. Maria, is this self-defense in your estimation?
You know, I have no idea what the defense is going to be hearing this interview. He says in the beginning of the interview that he thought the guy was going to kick his butt. He didn't say, I feared for my life. I knew I had to use deadly force. I believe he had a weapon. He says, I thought he was going to kick my butt. He later says, oh, no, I didn't see anything. It might have been a cell phone. He also says, I know I shouldn't have done this. I know I shouldn't have done this. And if my wife was watching, God bless. I don't think so. I think that when he's interviewed immediately after this happening, he knew that he was wrong. He points that out several times in his interview that I shouldn't have done this. I shouldn't have done this. So he knows that he's wrong. I have no idea what his defense is going to be, given his own words of saying, hey, I thought he was going to kick my butt. I know I shouldn't have done this. I mean, I'm shocked.
Sudi, your thoughts on this case and his defense?
Well, let's focus on something that's very important, at least to me and to my clients and to any criminal defense attorney out there. This guy is out on bond. He's been on house arrest for, 8 years now? He's been able to live free while he has these very serious charges. That's cool. That's very cool for him. And I just wish that some of our clients that are accused of having a little bit of marijuana on them could be at home instead of in a jail. It's just the system treats people that have different professions very differently. He's retired. He's not a cop. He probably should be held to the same standards as a regular person, even though he had training. But even a regular person should not be justified to use deadly force. I don't know law in Florida because I don't know anybody that understands Florida. But at least where I practice, you can only use self-defense in a manner that's commensurate to the threat. Somebody slaps you, you can slap him back. Somebody points a gun at you, you can shoot him back. Sure, that's how it works because it's the same level of force. You cannot just simply escalate and then use I don't have to retreat as an excuse for killing somebody.
Yeah.
At least that's how it is in most of the country. I don't know about Florida.
Yeah, we'll see. It'll be up to this jury, but we think it is going to be a self-defense defense. Maria Barlow, thank you for your valuable time this morning. Really appreciate it. Sudi's going to stick around more when we return. This is Court TV, your front row seat to justice. Cameras are inside a Tampa, Florida courthouse as jury selection moves forward in the movie popcorn murder trial. Today marks day 3 of the selection process. It's taking a little bit longer than the judge had hoped. Right now they're on a short 10-minute break. We'll be dipping in and out of live coverage throughout the day. It's fascinating as both sides try to find out as much as they can about these potential jurors, the people that will sit in judgment of this man, Curtis Reeves, accused of murdering Chad Oulson in 2014 during an argument over a cell phone in a movie theater. The defendant claims it was self-defense. He faces second-degree murder and aggravated battery with a deadly weapon. On day 2 of jury selection, a potential juror that will move on to the next phase was known as juror number 71, told the court that her husband was actually a colleague of the defendants in law enforcement. And despite that affiliation, she said she had no opinion of Reeves prior to the shooting.
What were you thinking at that time, if you can recall?
I probably recall I'm of the mindset that I don't make assumptions because I wasn't there. So I don't know what happened.
Well, okay, I didn't mean to interrupt you. Go ahead, please.
So I don't make assumptions about things that I don't know all the facts about. So hearing it on the news, I don't think the news tells all the story, so I don't think I made a judgment other than something happened I guess I'm not following. All I can tell you is what I heard on the news and that I've been to that theater. My husband said he knew who the person was, and that's a tragedy. Either way. That's what I thought. It's a tragedy either way.
What you told the judge was that when you heard about this, or at least your husband and you discussed it somewhat, he said that he was surprised. Mm-hmm. Why did you say that?
I don't think he expected to hear something like that. I'm trying to think back to that time. I mean, that was a long time ago.
I know.
And like I said, I'm like you said, I'm trying to think back to those conversations because we haven't had any conversation. And so when I walked in here today and saw what I'm here for, I was like, ooh, wow. So I've been trying to go back to those conversations because I knew these questions would be asked of me. And I'm trying to recall any conversations we had at that moment. And he didn't have anything poorly to say about Mr. Reeves. But like I said, my husband and I have had numerous, I know tons of Tampa Police Department people that he worked with. But Mr. Reeves was never one that I had ever heard his name before. I've met tons of police detectives, people that he worked with, but Mr. Reeves was never one that I had heard of or he had ever mentioned. So when that happened, he said, I'm surprised. And if I recall, I'm trying to think, I don't think that my husband's mentality, I don't think he thinks that will ever happen of any of his colleagues.
Because it would be, even to a layperson, unexpected for something other than...
For me, when I'm in a movie, I'm watching a movie. And so I've never been, I would gather in my mind, I would be interested to know what those circumstances were, because that's not an environment that I've ever been in that I would expect anything like that to happen.
Okay. I don't have anything else. Thank you.
Any motions?
No, Your Honor.
All right. Number 71. I need you back at 9 o'clock tomorrow morning. Can you do that for us? Be back at the jury pool room at 9 and bring your badge and your number. And we probably got another full day, but we hopefully can make some of our final selections tomorrow.
Okay, that was yesterday. The process continues today, and that juror, 71, is part of the next step, the next phase. Will she still be around and be on this jury? Her husband knew the defendant. We'll have to wait and see. Sudi Jimenez is still with us in Atlanta, Georgia. And joining our conversation is Greg Isaacs. He's in Knoxville, Tennessee. Greg, good morning to you. Thanks for your time. Appreciate it. This process is so important for both sides. This is a Florida case. It's not a murder one case. So they're only going to have 6 people on the panel. Your thoughts in terms of the importance of getting, in a high-profile case like this, getting into people's minds, what do you know, and those opinions of what you've heard about this case. How important is it for both sides?
Well, it's incredibly important, Ted. Voir dire is a French term for speak freely, and what you want to do as counsel for Mr. Reeves is identify target jurors that you think are going to be fair, unbiased, and open-minded. In this case, there are 2 major issues that the defense has been and will focus on. One, obviously, is pretrial publicity, and that's incredibly difficult when you try a high-profile case. And as the defense lawyer, you want to be sure that you don't have a stealth juror that wants to be on the jury because they are enamored by the attention, the publicity. It remains to be seen whether this jury will be sequestered, but the judge has always given admonition not to use your cell phone, read outside sources as it relates to the trial. But, that's always a leap of faith that the judicial system takes with prospective jurors. The other thing that you want to delve into in a case of this nature is self-defense. Having tried a case a few weeks ago, a self-defense case here in East Tennessee, it's amazing how jurors' opinions of self-defense have shifted, and I think due in large part to the Kyle Rittenhouse verdict. So now self-defense is kind of the verdict du jour. It really changes the dynamic and shifts the burden of proof to the prosecution. So those, I think, are two keys the defense is going to be looking at as they select this jury.
Sudi, who's your ultimate juror if you're the defense here? Is this former law enforcement? Would you want law enforcement, or are they going to be more critical of Mr. Reeves, do you think?
I think this jury, the juror that was just being questioned, is a prime example of how difficult this is, because maybe you want her. Her husband is in law enforcement. She knows law enforcement. She knows how difficult of a job they have. She knows they're trained and they would only react if they had to, right? But at the same time, she might be overly critical. So I think that this is definitely not a juror we want. Why? Because you don't know where she stands. You want somebody that it's not going to be a surprise. Her questions were, her answers to the questions seemed to be critical of him. So I would not keep her in my jury as a defense. But I also, as the prosecution, I wouldn't have kept her in my jury pool either, because she might just give him the a slap on the wrist, because that could have been her husband. But no, I want a juror that it's going to be open to the facts. I mean, literally, that's what you want. You want somebody that's going to leave their bias behind and is going to listen to the evidence and listen to your arguments and hopefully come back with a true verdict.
Greg, who's your ultimate juror if you're the defense here?
If you're the defense, you want somebody that is going to follow the law when they get that jury instruction on self-defense. And what I'm going to focus on is not the fact that a young individual, Chad Oulson, was killed over an argument on a cell phone and throwing popcorn, but what was reasonable in the mind of then 71-year-old Mr. Reeves. So what you've got to do is get a jury that can focus on the mens rea, the mental state at the time, and get them to buy into putting their passions, their prejudices aside, follow the instructions that they are given by the judge, and look at what was in Reeves' mind when the gun was fired.
Yeah, that's a bit, that's it. Thinking, well, this guy's a nice guy. He didn't mean to hurt anybody. He was a former cop. He just, had popcorn thrown in his face. This is going to be a fascinating trial. Will he take the stand or not? We'll have to wait and see. We know he has that police interview coming up. We'll play some of the interview with the defendant, Curtis Reeves, right after the shooting. This is moments after this happened. You'll notice how calm and collected he is.